Next up, at UFC 284, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Yair Rodriguez taking on Josh Emmett. And this is for the interim featherweight belt because Volkanovski's given it up to go up to fight in the main event for the lightweight belt.
Has he given it up, or did they tell him to give it up? There's a big difference.
I don't know the difference. I think they.
It's not. No, he's not giving it up. It's an interim belt.
Yeah, it's just an interim belt. I just meant like he's not.
Oh my God! You threw me for a loop there. I was like, wait a second. There's no way Volk would just give up his goddamn.
No, it
belt.
was more because he's not moving to 55. He just, again.
Oh my God!
My bad. Poorly chose words there, but you get the point. They need to move on with the division since he'll be out of commission, win or lose, for 5-6 months. Yair Rodriguez 14-3 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5. And he's coming off that freak win over Brian Ortega. Josh Emmett, 18-2 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He's coming off a fight of the night win over Calvin Kattar. This is another one of those controversial fights where a lot of people are split. A lot of different takes here. I personally am on the Josh Emmett side. But Yair Rodriguez, he's a fun, athletic guy. Spin kicks, wild aggression. He will just basically do anything that he wants to on his feet, and he'll do it somewhat effortlessly. He does not have the best takedown defense, but he works his way up really well, and he's got submissions that he can threaten with to create those scrambles and work his way back up. He has had a weird couple of years. He had a 2-year layoff. Then he came back. He fought Max Holloway in an absolute banger of a fight, but he did lose that fight. He was taken down a few times. And then after that, he fought Brian Ortega in a main event. Brian Ortega's knee blew out. That fight, or shoulder blew out. And we didn't get to see anything on it. So when we look at Yair Rodriguez's 3-1, it's actually 3-1-1 in his last 5. If you look at his last year, the dude has 1 win, and it was a freak win. So very spotty record as of late. Josh Emmett, 18-2 overall. He's on a wild streak, a 5-fight win streak. And the dude is a wrestler. He's a wrestler at his heart. He's a wrestler at his core who has not been wrestling. He's coming forward, throwing hands. He fell in love with his power. This is like what I hate for all wrestlers. Fell in love with his power and is now just coming forward, throwing bombs. He's not wrestling as much as he should be. He has 11 knockdowns in 10 fights. He has very real power in his hands. Jacob, you disagree. You can talk about that in a minute. But he has 11 knockdowns in 10 UFC fights. He comes forward, bombs away, occasionally works in a takedown attempt. He was not able to take Calvin Kattar down, but he did shoot 3 takedowns. But Calvin Kattar has phenomenal takedown defense. Yair Rodriguez, on the other hand, does not. So I think Josh Emmett can get this done. I think he can come forward. I want him to mix in the takedowns because if he does not even attempt takedowns and if he doesn't get Yair guessing on his feet, then he's going to be on the wrong side of some spins and some kicks, and he's going to be in some trouble. I do have a half a unit money line bet on Josh Emmett. I got it at plus 135. It's better odds now. Last week I was behind all the odds, but I hit every single bet I put on the board. I'm hoping for the same now. I think Josh is going to get it done, but I fully recognize how dangerous Yair Rodriguez is, but I also think people are giving him a little too much credit considering in the last 2 years the dude's won 1 single fight, and it was a freak accident. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is a close fight. A lot of question marks on this fight. I don't have any action on either side, so even I'm going to pick Yair, but even at these odds, I'm not confident enough to put it on Yair. I think that this is I agree with what you said in the wrestling department. If Josh Emmett comes in with a wrestle-heavy game plan, that's as easy as path to victory. The only issue is he's never really done that of late, and I don't expect him to do it in a title fight against a guy like Yair. I think this looks pretty similar to the Calvin Kattar fight. It's going to be Josh Emmett pressuring, walking with that right hand cocked. He's going to throw it. He might land it a couple times. The difference is Calvin Kattar was dancing around and was comfortable enough to just pump out the jab, right? Because, I mean, you saw what he did to Josh Emmett's face, and some people thought he even won that fight because he was so effective with that jab. Calvin Kattar was having such good success with that jab, he was just boom, pump it out, and I think I can win the fight this way. Yair, on the other hand, is a guy that will dance around with the Emmett pressure. He's not just going to throw jabs out. I mean, he is going to match the power of Emmett with extended combos that Calvin Kattar couldn't really do to sway the judges enough, because we saw Emmett was throwing power shots, and yeah, Calvin was countering with the jabs, but when push came to shove, it was Emmett with the pressure, and it was Emmett with the more powerful shots. Yair is going to match those power shots with his wild extended combos. I think this is a decision fight, and when it comes down to a decision fight, you have to understand how do fighters fight in the judges' minds, right? So the judges are going to see Emmett doing what he does, the same as last fight. Pressure, right hand, right hand, right hand. The difference is Yair is a judge's dream. He is in a close decision fight. He is a judge's dream because he does the wild stuff. He gets the oohs and ahs. It looks like he's doing much more damage than even he's doing because of the way he throws strikes and the wild striking combos. So when you're judging a fight, and some of these rounds are probably going to be very, very close. When the judges, remember, they're stupid. The stupid fucking judges, when they're getting ready to write down a 10, the last thing they're going to remember is going to be that Yair spinning whatever. It's going to be that Yair, the up elbow, the whatever, the big head kick, whatever it is. So in a decision fight, I feel that Yair is going to be able to have the optics of being the better fighter and the more efficient fighter in this matchup. So I got to go with Yair, but I agree. If Emmett wants to come in and try and be a bully and push him around, hold him against the fence, we saw Ortega was holding Yair against the fence before the eventual whatever it was. That's his best path. If it's a decision striking matchup, Yair is just way too creative, and he's going to win that decision 6, 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, listen, I don't. I'm not going to scream and yell and any of that. I think a lot of my.
I wouldn't talk to me that way either because what happened? Like, damn.
It's so funny. I don't know what it is about our cameras, but people are convinced you're not short. I don't know how you pulled it off.
I mean, someone literally said that was being a troll earlier. They literally said, you guys are tough internet guys. I would fight Angelo, but probably not Jacob. And I agree. Holy shit. I
mean, people, I don't know what the camera angle is, and I really could give a shit. I care less that
it bothers you. I mean, you're talking about
it.
So
no, that's what I was going to say. I don't care. I don't care if people think I'm short. It drives me nuts that they don't know that you actually are.
I mean, you want to talk about you want to act like we don't have like a romantic relationship. It's more fake.
What a deflection that is.
It's more fake that I'm short. It's more fake. It is more likely that me and you are involved very sexually and romantically than I am actually short.
Okay, I guess I'm going to have to take more weird incognito pictures of you standing next to random objects so we can get a
objects, not people. Just remember, guys, when this vlog drops, there's going to be a guy in the video that is 6'10", and I swear to God, he is all of 6'10". So if you see me in this video next to this dude, I am not 5'6". I'm not even 5'8", 5'9". This dude is 6'10", and he's gonna. I mean, it's not gonna look good. So just so you guys know.
In Jacob's defense, Bo, who called into our call-in show, he will be here for the fights. Anybody who doesn't know, we're gonna film. Jacob's gonna film his whole day leading up to the fights. I'm gonna film my whole day, and then we're gonna film us hanging out watching the fights, and we're gonna turn it into something. We'll try to make it something fun, something special. It will turn into something. And me and Bo, I was like, dude, this is the plan. This is the plan. You're gonna stand next to me. He's not 6'10". He's like 6'8". I was like, you're going to stand next to me, just slouch down a little bit. I'm 6'3". Slouch down a little bit so it looks like we're the same height, right? We'll do that for the camera. We won't make it obvious. Then go stand next to Jacob, and it's going to be, the gap is going to be insane. I'm like, Jacob's going to be self-aware enough to not let me stand directly next to him. But he'll let you stand next to him. So
I mean, I don't care if I stand next to him.
That was our plan.
That dude's 6'10" and you're 6'5". I mean, if I'm 5 inches shorter than you, I'm that's a tall human being. You know, the average height of a U.S. male is like 5'8". I'm way taller than that. If you're 5'8", I'm looking at you like this. How you doing, little guy?
No, sure. I bet you are.
I pat you on the head. Every 5'8" guy that comes up to me, I'm like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, good seeing you. Rub his head a little bit.
This is small guy energy. This is bagel boss energy, Jacob. Anyway,
you're gonna spend people called you the bagel boss.
They did because I have
that's the same attitude. That's the same range. I know that.
Yeah. Do you have? You're gonna spend the $8,500 in DraftKings?
I don't trust either one of these guys.
I think Josh is worth the 77, but you look a little closer and he's not. As dumb as that sounds. At $7,700, in theory, Josh Emmett, like, wow, he could win this fight. He's got all these tools, etc. But then you dig in a little deeper, the dude does not score well in DraftKings because it's big, just big punching, big loops coming forward, big loops coming forward, not really getting the finishes, not getting the takedown. So he does not score well, even though he has 5 full rounds. So unfortunately, I will not be spending the money on Josh, even though I do think he wins.